So I would like to thank the chairman for one more year to be invited in this Congress, and congratulations for the great Congress also for this year, better from the previous year. So we all know the Grammont Design, and we all know the results that it gave, but we have sometimes limited range of motion, and we have the scapular notching. And the scapular notching in about 88% in 10 years. So the Grammont Design, maybe we can have increased lengthening, branchial plexus problems, change the cosmetic appearance of the shoulder, greater tuberosity, bone stock sacrifice, and also the decreased, especially internal or external rotation. So lateralize, but why, where, how, and how much, and why we have to improve the range of motion, to decrease the notching, because the medialized center of rotation slackens the rotator cuff muscles and decrease the immobile arm in about 30 in a percentage of the 36%. So we have to medialize the center of rotation or to lateralize the humerus. And we heard about the three options of the glenoid lateralizations that we have, but Gilles says the humeral lateralization. So by using an onlay humeral tray, by increasing the lateral offset of the humerus, by changing the inclination, by minimizing the inclination, you can lateralize your humerus, or by using an eccentric onlay system. So when you play with the eccentricity, you can lateralize or you can distalize your prosthesis. So the potential benefits is that you improve the deltoid function, you preserve the remaining cuff, so you may have better external rotation, you preserve the bone stock, and you have less change in the cosmetic appearance of the shoulder. However, if you increase the humeral offset, you decrease the acromihumeral distance, and you may have impingement during abduction. And also what happens with the glenoid deformation. So there are many factors to consider, and finally, which is the best lateralization and distalization and how much? So the previous year, I said, and we published this paper. We had the right side, the classic Grammont prosthesis, and at the right side, we have the ascent flex with a bio-RSA. But we have the opposite results. Why? So we thought about, and we introduced the two ankles, the lateralization shoulder ankle, a distalization shoulder ankle, that they are highly correlated with the final functional outcomes. And the lateralization shoulder ankle is correlated with the external rotation. Mainly when you have lateralization shoulder ankle between 75 and 95 degrees, you can achieve better external rotation. And also, it is highly positively correlated with anterior forward flexion. Also, the distalization is negatively correlated with the external rotation and also with the forward flexion. And when you have a range between 40 and 60 degrees, you have better forward flexion. However, there was always a problem in my mind. LSA and DSA sometimes was a problem, and I have good LSA and DSA, and I say this is the outliers. And the small shoulders was always a problem. So I thought that, and Johan Barth said always in Gilles Valls, be careful with the bio-RSA in small shoulders. So when you have a small shoulder with a small acromion, be careful with the bio-RSA, and this is two ladies. In the left, we have a very good LSA and DSA and expected a very good result. And the other one, I have a bad LSA, a DSA mainly, and I expected a bad result. However, what happens with the lateralization of the glenoid and mainly the center of rotation? So we've seen this thing, and I go back in the bibliography and I searched the article of Philippe Collin in 2017 that he said, when you use a Grammont prosthesis with a bio-RSA, you can achieve better forward flexion, but the external rotation finally doesn't change. Also, in our group of patients, when I published our article, I found that the bio-RSA gave us better forward flexion, but finally the external rotation was not very good also. Also, the Bio-RSA with the Grammont didn't change as the lateralization very good, and didn't have also a very good effect in the distalization. So I go back to the Philippe Collin article, and he said that with the Bio-RSA, you rechange the center of rotation laterally as the native center of rotation probably. So this is the reason that we don't gain something in external rotation. And also George Ethwold said that if you in a biomechanical study, he said that if you lateralize from the glenosphere, this is an antagonistic effect that increases the deltoid and joint loading. And he proposes to lateralize from the humeral side that has less complications. So what I thought, there are 3 months right now, and I'm searching on it, is the CORA project. And the CORA project is the center of rotation shoulder angle. So the center of rotation shoulder angle is mainly increased when you lateralize from the humeral side and not from the glenoid side. And these are the results in our study group that were published with our previous publications. And the center of rotation shoulder angle is highly correlated with the external rotation, mainly when you achieve a center of rotation angle above 60, you have better external rotation. And also, this is also correlated not so highly as for external rotation, but also with forward flexion. And also, when you have the limit of 60, is also a good limit to achieve a very good forward flexion. So go back to biomechanics, and this is the native center of rotation of our shoulder. And we medialize with the Grammont prosthesis, and also we lateralize it with the Bio-RSA. And we all know that the deltoid works better when there is a pulley system. And you not achieve this with the Grammont prosthesis, neither with the lateralization from the glenoid side, but it's better from the humeral side. So in summary, our multivariate analysis showed finally that the LSA and the lateralization is the most important factor for the final range of motion. The CORA, the center of rotation shoulder angle, seems to be also an important factor mainly for external rotation, and you have to achieve an angle above 60 degrees. Lateralized from the humerus is more efficient, I think, it's more secure. The Bio-RSA, I use it mainly to correct the deformities, and also I use it sometimes when I have a lateral extended acromion when a humeral lateralization is not sufficient. So we can achieve a great result with a Bio-RSA, with a reverse shoulder prosthesis, but we have 3 factors to consider for it. The Bermuda Triangle theory of LSA and DSA that were proposed last year, in order not to be lost in the Bermuda, you have to separate the triangle. So thank you a lot, and also to achieve a best result for a reverse shoulder arthroplasty, you have to balance all the forces in the shoulder. And I want to invite you next November in the special days of ESCA. Thank you a lot.